Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what is an amazing movie that has a god-awful sequel? American Psycho 2. Didn't even start as a sequel, but they decided to make it one for a quick buck. Let's see Paul Allen's sequel. Oh my god. It even has a watermark. Mila Kunis, who played the protagonist, said that it was a different project when she signed up for it, which later got re-edited. When there were rumors that they might make a third one, she said, "Please somebody stop this. Write a petition." Dr. Mila Kunis stated she was horrified by the fact she made this film and was happy it went straight to video. Ooh boy, mid-2000s entertainment journalism lol. In the first few seconds of the article it describes her as a ravishing, doe-eyed brunette who plays a feisty bitch on wheels. The Mask. In an interview about Son of the Mask, Jamie Kennedy, star of the movie, called it the crappiest piece of crap in the crap store. Took a look at his IMDb page. The bulk of his work is from projects that rated 5 stars or less. Oh god, we just watched Surf's Up 2 that was paid for by the WWE. My senior year of high school we had to make a TED talk about a subject of our choice. A close friend of mine gave a passionate speech about Surf's Up and how it deserved a better sequel. Gonna have to agree. Surf's Up recently entered my 4-year-old's movie rotation. Forgot it was an actual good movie. Glad I missed the sequel somehow. Mean Girls. They made a sequel. They, as in the people who made the original. Not really. It was a TV film, and the only cast member to return was Tim Meadows, who played the principal. Independence Day. It's like they threw the sequel script together during a cheap cocaine bender. And what kills me about that is the fact that they had like 2 decades to come up with something good. Soon after the success of the first film, 20th Century Fox paid Dean Devlin a large sum of money to write a script for a sequel. However, after completing the script, Devlin didn't turn in the script and instead gave the money back to the studio, as he felt the story didn't live up to the first film. It was only approximately 15 years later that Devlin met up with Roland Emmerich to try again, having felt that they had cracked a story for a sequel. I wish it was better. This thread might as well be movies I didn't know had sequels. Starship Troopers. Jarhead. Jarhead is a sad one. The original is based on a dude's memoirs while the rest are generic support the troops. Action movies about militants storming an embassy or pilots being shot down. It's baffling that someone looked at a Sam Mendes movie about ennui during wartime and the psychological toll of the Gulf War and made generic, straight-to-video action sequels. There can't be a big audience overlap there. Yeah, Jarhead and Starship Troopers will always be the 2 movies where I just deny that anything else came out afterward because the sequels missed the point of the original so badly. Speed. I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down. Yep. The chemistry between Kior and Sandra was electric. They both admitted, fairly recently, to have had crushes on each other at the time, but neither pursed. Can't even recall the dude from the sequel. Only William Dafoe's crazy eyes. Such a dud. They both admitted, fairly recently, to have had crushes on each other at the time, but neither pursed. Probably for the best. I've heard relationships based on intense experiences never work. I loved The Mummy Return, but the third one was just horrible. Yes. The first 2 are so entertaining and cool with the Egyptian lore. The third one was like something Netflix would try to pull off. If they couldn't get Rachel Weisz, why not just kill her off between movies and write the new actress as someone else? I never got that. Have Evie's death and Rick's new relationship be the reason why he's estranged from his son? It would still overall suck as a movie, but at least it'd be better than having an actress who doesn't look, sound or act like Rachel Weisz pretend to be the same beloved character. Highlander. There should have only been one. The combination of factors that made the first one a hit was very unlikely to be repeated. A cool but underdeveloped mythology. Sean Connery and Clancy Brown drinking before the job. Tons of silliness and humor. A crazy director. You forgot one very important thing. Queen. Dragoheart. There's like 4 or 5 of them now. Only the first movie is good. Edit. To everyone saying the first one was not good, stop having bad taste in movies. Good gravy. Just looked them up. 3 had Ben Kingsley. 4 had Patrick Stewart. V had Helena Bonham Carter and came out last year. V had Helena Bonham Carter and came out last year. What? Holy fuck, nobody I have ever met has even seen the movie. All the movies after the first one are straight trash. How are the dragons from a movie made in 1996 still looking better than the dragons in every sequel? Same reason Jurassic Park usually holds up. When they used effects they made sure to get it right. The rest of the time they faked it real well. Whereas the sequels were basically like, look, dragons. Pacific Rim. The worst thing for me is how they messed up the sense of scale. The action in the first worked so well because it all felt heavy and meaty and rooted in reality. The camera angles from the ground gave a real sense of scale, and the slow but powerful movements of the Jaegers with the thrusters on the arms and shit, made it all feel right. The sequel was like Transformers with everything moving too fast and easily. Yup. Needing rockets to make a fast punch, etc. Second one is like, no wait. I actually never watched the second film due to me assuming literally all that you said was true after watching the reveal trailer. A quick 2-minute trailer showed more than enough for me to find out this would be a dumpster fire of a movie, and I was right, sadly. Oh my god, came here to say this too. Loved the OG movie, the second one made no sense. The only bright spot is Charlie Day becoming the villain with his brain wife / sex slave. Who knew you could make such an amazing action film with good lore and concepts and turn it into such dumpster fire? World War I. Interesting. I think most people find the sequel even more compelling. But I can see how someone might appreciate the nuance and moral ambiguity of the original. By comparison, the sequel had a cardboard villain who was just plain evil. It was good guys vs bad guys, black and white with no shades of grey. Except one of the good guys turned out to be Joe Stalin. I thought that was a fascinating twist. So I end up giving them both 5 stars. But what about the interesting subplots with the nuclear weapon development and the Nazi scientists? Just look at Project Paperclip, it's so compelling with the hypocrisy and risk-taking just to save their own hides and be more appreciated in the long run. Seriously though, it was horrible. How I got a wholesome award for talking about Nazi scientists I'll never know. They keep teasing the third sequel. It's getting kind of annoying. I hope Valve makes it. Mueller. Yes, WTF. I scrolled too long to find this one, like who the actual fuck thought it was a good idea to make Mushu the villain? Come on. Who the actual fuck thought it was a good idea to make Mushu the villain? Come on. Okay, now I am actually interested. This was a direct-to-video one, no. Disney had a habit of basically recycling all their IPs around the early aughts and making cheap and weak direct-to-video sequels. There was a whole bunch of them. Lion King, Aladdin, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Lady and the Tramp, 101 Dalmatians, a bunch of others. Disney's animation studios were having some real trouble trying to put together something decent around this period. The one that I would say was half decent was Lion King 1.5, which I always referred to as Timon and Pumbaa are dead because it basically gives those two characters the Rosecrans and Guildista treatment, song the existentialism. Lion King 2 is an extremely serviceable sequel. It's not the original, but it's like a second helping. Independence Day. 20 years we waited, and that's the best they got. Honorable mention to Pacific Rim. Independence Day. I worked at the VFX studio that did the majority of the effects for the sequel. It was a complete mess from start to finish. There was constant "wouldn't it be cool if" happening, meaning the film mutated into a strange parody of itself. You could tell. I said it earlier in the comments here, there's a sudden snap where it becomes Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum reacting to the dialogue. The Pacific Rim sequel made me so sad. They did some amazing world building in the first one and supplementary comic books describing the background lore. Then they took what made the first one so great and just CIIII. Also, why kill of Mo? She was so badass and had personality, character development and so much potential. And only to replace her with Osh. Yeah. This is the new love interest. Stock character with tits. Zero explanation, zero reason. To this day I refuse to watch it. Simply so I don't ruin my love for the first Pacific Rim movie. It's kinda the closest to a live-action mecha aim that we got, and it's absolutely awesome and fun. Kinda realistic here and there, but still enough action not to be completely mindless. All I've seen of PR2 was just disappointing. I mean, sure, some of the ideas were good, but that's it. Hell, even just what I see in the trailer is enough for me to lose all interest. I'm glad we got Pacific Rim, the Black though. It's a really good show for what it is, and I can't wait for the second season. Donnie Darko. Darko was trash. Donnie Darko was great. Not sure why they even thought of making a second film. It's not like some of the other movies on this list that were major hits, so it made fiscal sense to milk the IP. Donnie Darko was more of a cult hit from what I gathered,